Hello people, thank you for joining me once again on another fragrance video. Bit of a theme recently, we've been looking at some fairly cheap fragrances. This certainly falls into that category. It's from the British, I won't say fashion house, but clothing brand, household brand Next. It's Britain's biggest retailer. Very much high street level, not designer. It's in the realms of brands like H&M, Top Man, such like. And this one's called Edition. Now, this one's been around for quite a long time. Next fragrances can be brought out and often discontinued quite quickly. But this one was released back in about 2016, 2017, somewhere that's the region. I've certainly smelled it more than 4 or 5 years ago. And it's a very pleasant scent. But me saying that does come with a caveat, and that is that these fragrances from high streets, Zara's, etc., while they tend to smell quite good, they have a major flaw, and that is that they have poor longevity. This one, for a high street brand, actually pretty good. It's not that bad at all. But it's not the longevity that you would expect if you'd paid designer money, although this is cheap. A bottle like this, which I think is 30ml, would cost you about £8, 50ml about 12, 100ml about 14. It's not expensive in any way, shape or form. One of the key points to tell you about Next fragrances, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, quite a lot of my early videos featured Next fragrances, including this one, because this was in a top 5 or top 10 high street fragrances that I did back in about 2017, so quite some time ago. So to give you a bit of background information about, about fragrances from Next, one of the key points is that they're pretty much all clones. This one is also a clone, and without question, to my nose, it is a clone of 212 Sexy Men from Carolina Herrera. Similar to Prada L'Homme, Luna Rossa Spoke, should I say, in the respect that it has that sort of powdery, heavily Le Male influenced, but not Le Male scent. So it's big on the vanilla in the base, but it has citrus at the top, bit of bergamot, bit of pepper, possibly a little bit of cardamom in there, but the vanilla and the white musk are quite heavy on this, which gives it a very powdery, clean smell. But as I say, it is pretty much just a straight up clone of 212 Sexy Men, which I have also reviewed very recently, only a couple of videos back, so please do look out for that one if you do have the time. What can we tell you about this? Occasions, I would say it's fairly casual. 212 Sexy Men, when it came out originally, was probably more of a clubbing fragrance. Reformulations have made that weaker, and this is a sort of clone of a weaker version of a strong fragrance, if that makes sense. So this is not particularly strong. It is very powdery, so I probably wouldn't wear it to the office or for daytime use. You could wear it for maybe going for a meal. I don't think it's going to cut in a nightclub. It's not going to go through the that smoky, dense atmosphere they get in clubs. But it's pleasant, and it would do for, say, I don't know, a date, something of that nature, you're going to the cinema, etc., where you're going to want something that smells good, has a bit of oomph to it, but not too much. As I said, though, it is very much like 212 Sexy Men, and if you're going to buy this kind of fragrance, I would probably spend a little bit more and get that, because price-wise, there's not a lot in it. This is, as I say at the outset, extremely cheap, but 212 Sexy Men is quite cheap now as well. You can go to discounters and buy it for probably £25-30 if you look out for it. If you do want this kind of scent DNA, though, and you want something that's slightly higher quality, and you don't mind spending more money, then I would get Prada Luna Rossa Sport, because it's this amped up a little bit, more refined, and it's worth paying that little bit more money. I own all three, and there's only one that I wear with any regularity, and it's not this, and it's not 212 Sexy Men, so by process of elimination you can work out what fragrance we're talking about. There isn't a great deal of anything else to tell you about this. It is very much of its type. It's a high street fragrance, it's an inexpensive fragrance, it's pleasant, it's a clone, it doesn't have great longevity and projection, it's very moderate in that area. For high street fragrance, as I said before, it's decent in that area, but it's not what you would expect if you were comparing it to a designer, or certainly nowhere near like a niche fragrance. It's all aroma chemicals. They use very cheap materials to make these fragrances, and that it just doesn't latch onto your skin and keep there for very long. It drifts into the air and it's gone after probably 2 hours with this. I mean, it's a lot better than the Ted Baker fragrance I reviewed recently, well, yesterday, in the respect that that had about 20 minutes. This probably does have about 2 hours. If you kept reapplying it though, and you kept buying it, because it is inexpensive, then it probably would do you okay. Anyway, that's enough of me wittering on. Once again, I will say thank you for taking the time to watch this and my other videos. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It does really help me out. And that's it for now, and please do look out for more fragrance videos coming to you very, very shortly. Bye.